let's compare Marcelo Bielsa and Jesse Marsch. This is Leeds United's performance since the start of the last season. What stands out? If I have to point at something, is opponent XG. And I know you hate expected goals. I love that stat, but to me, it tells a lot of how different this team looks under Jesse Marsch.
Yeah, I mean, I would go with points, right? Because last year, and you would have to assume this year, it's a fight for survival. And he's very much
It will still
that.
be. It will still be.
Yes, it would still be, but 1.5 per game is a lot better than 0.9. But it's definitely the goals against. It's what he's doing. Bielsa had this situation where it's man marking all over the field, and it was chaotic. You may have scored 4, but they were going to score 5. Jesse has brought in a little bit more discipline. It's high pressure. It's very much more intense. Yeah. Disciplined-wise in that fashion where, hey, we're going to be chaotic in the way we defend and go forward from there. And chaotic in the most respectful term because it's not disorganized. There's purpose to the way they press, and I think you're starting to see that.
Yeah, I think it's a structure. That's the biggest difference. The way you defend, there's a structure under Jesse Marsch. As with Marcelo Bielsa, it was a little more, it was not at 11, but it was different. It was a more relaxed way of defending. It was more focused on attacking, regardless of what happened on the other half of the field. Now, after this very good, long conversation with Jesse Marsch, what's your first reaction?
You know, it's funny to me see a guy who's going to be 49 at the end of this year talk about, for the first time in his career, he was recognized.
Yeah, New York City.
And back home. And in the same breath, turn around and turn it back to the national team. You know, that's very much in the back of his head is the U.S. men's national team. How he wants to use Leeds. It almost sounds like as a platform to get to the U.S. men's national team. Now, I hope that's not the case. I hope there's Jesse Marsch for a long time in Europe. Because he is doing something right now that no other coach in U.S. soccer has done. And I say that respectfully. Okay, because we've had the Bob Bradleys, we've had the Wagners, we've had coaches here and there, Pellegrinos, Materazzos that have done well. But Jesse Marsch right now was Champions League in Austria, made a name for himself against Liverpool, and now has a chance with Leeds to do something very special. As these players, Brendan Aronson, as Tyler Adams, as Christian Pulisic, propel the American player, and that perspective of the player, he's propelling the coach because that coach or how they viewed the coach. Just go back to the time of Bob Bradley in the Premier League with Swansea. It wasn't viewed in the most respectful manner.
I was pointing to my notes because that's exactly what I thought. My first reaction was a very subtle reminder. U.S. men's national team.
Subtle.
I want to present it as a subtle reminder. The U.S. men's national team is in the back of his head, and it's probably his. I don't know if it's his biggest motivation, but it's clearly there. And I think he said it in the most respectful way, right? Because there are some other coaches that don't like when the manager speaks of another job.
Nobody asked him about the national team. He brought that conversation by himself, so keep that in mind.
Fine, but the way he did it, I liked it. And the other thing, which I think is crucial, how Brendan Aronson and Tyler Adams, of course, are going to help him with his style of play, but the mentality and how that mentality is also extending to the rest of the team. I think that's huge, and it was a big part of this recent success by Jesse Marsch this season.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN+.